This video will go through how to complete a business standards or level 1 accreditation application and how to use all the functions in the online platform. Level 1 is the minimum standards your business should be meeting when operating, and going through this application will help you document everything you're already doing. If there's any policy or procedure that you don't have in place, we'll provide you with the templates and resources needed. It doesn't matter what size your business is, any business can become accredited. If there's a question that doesn't apply to your business, you have the option to select that it's not applicable and explain why, and the system also recognises which questions should and should not apply to your business. To start your application, click on Next section at the top. This will bring up the Business Details section. For this section, you need to reconfirm that all the details you entered in your registration are still correct. Upload your business registration if you would like to, and select the category that best represents your business type. So I will select tours and select which of these categories also fits into my business type. The next section is your insurance details. So it is a minimum requirement of accreditation that you have $10 million public liability cover. So you select yes and attach the certificate of currency. If you select no, because this is a requirement, you then need to provide a reason why. So I've selected yes. Workers' compensation is a requirement if you employ staff. If you don't employ staff, nothing else appears, that's all you need to do. If you do employ staff, you select yes, and then some further questions will come up. And with this, you can either upload the certificate or you select no, and you would fill in the details here. If you do have any other insurance policies, you can upload them here. So you select yes. And again, you can either upload the documents, or with this one you would fill out a table. So anytime throughout the application a table like this shows up, the way to fill it out is to click Create New, and you'll fill in the details of a particular line item. So the type of insurance, the name, the policy, you'll click Create, and then I'll just do a test one. Create, and that shows up. If you want to add in another policy, you would click Create New again and go through the process. This final question is to allow us to contact the insurer just to check any details we might have queries on. The licenses and permits section is where you upload all the licenses that you need to operate your particular type of tourism business. So I will select yes, and then I will type in what particular type of license it is. So this will depend on your business. If I was a hotel, I would need a registration of prescribed accommodation and a registration of food premises. If I'm a tour operator, which I selected at the start, I might need my Parks Victoria licensed tour operator license, and depending on the size of my tour buses, I might need bus accreditation through Transport Safety Victoria. So you'll type in one of your licenses. So again, I'm just going to write test, and I can again either upload the document by clicking yes or click no and fill out the details. If you have more than one license, then you would select yes to add additional licenses and fill in the table the same as you did for the additional insurance policies. Then the next section is any further compliance needed, for example, your liquor license, responsible service of alcohol documents, first aid certification, driver's license, etc. The financial systems question is just a yes agree for the level 1 accreditation, and you just click yes, and that's all you need to do. If you don't need to have any licenses or permits for your type of business, for example, if it's a booking service, then when it's asked, you select no, and you need to provide the reason why. The Business and Marketing Plan section helps us gain a greater understanding of your business and your current activities. And if you don't have a business and marketing plan, we provide the resources for you to develop one. So the first question is just a general description of your business, and then we ask for your business and marketing plan. With all of the questions relating to plans, policies, procedures, and manuals, if you click on the blue question mark, it will bring up further information about what we need for this particular question. And if you scroll down, there will be templates and resources available to you. Some of the more information pop-ups will have a Victoria tab, and that will have state-specific information. So if I already have an existing business and marketing plan, I click yes, and I upload the document. If I don't have one, or it's not currently documented, I select no, and then I can either use the available template. So there is a template available at this level of the question, or I can click on this blue question mark here, and the templates are there again. Or the other option is to complete supplied fields. So this brings up some questions that will then form the basis of your business and marketing plan. So these questions are all we need for the Level 1 accreditation business and marketing plan. And once you've filled these out, you can then document that however you would like in your business and build on that in the future. The next question is regarding your online marketing, and these are minimum standard yes or no questions. Then you will select which particular user review sites you currently have a listing on, and your attitude towards encouraging guests to leave reviews. The Human Resources section goes over the areas of training your staff have received. These are just yes or no questions for Level 1 accreditation. If you do have documents relating to training schedules or an HR manual, we recommend that you do upload them here. If you don't employ staff, the system will have recognised this based on your answers in the insurance section. So if I go back to insurance, I have selected yes, I employ staff. If I change this to no, the system has recognised this and has now removed the HR section. I don't have staff, so I don't need to answer HR questions. The customer service section is all about how you interact with guests. If you have an existing customer service manual or standards document, select yes and upload the document. Remember, you can always click on the blue question mark for further information about what we're looking for with this particular manual, and resources and case studies available at the bottom of the pop-up. If you don't have an existing document, select no, and you can either download the available template, fill that out relevant to your business and upload it here, or click complete supplied fields. Remember to click on the blue question marks at each question for further information and resources for that question. If you have an existing document but you're not sure if it's extensive enough, you can always select no, complete supplied fields to get an understanding of what we're looking for with this particular policy or manual, and then select yes and upload your existing document. The cancellation policy should be available to visitors before they finalise their booking, so let us know where they can find it. Information on how customers can find you could refer to road signage you have in place, with information here about Vic Road signage, or it could just be details on how you let guests know where to find you. This could be via a confirmation email, which you would attach, or you can give details such as it's on your website. Catering to those with specific needs refers to disability access and special dietary requirements. You might have an existing document which you can attach here, or you can give details such as you discuss any specific needs with guests potentially 2 weeks prior to their arrival. Disability access is not a requirement of accreditation, but clicking on the blue question mark will bring up further details about accessibility considerations you should think about, and the Victoria tab has a link to an existing accessibility resources toolkit developed by state government. The Business Operating System section is about the day-to-day tasks needed to run your business. So this includes things such as opening and closing procedures, handling transactions, pre-tour checks, how to use any software specific to your business, and how to take bookings. It's important to have these documented so that new staff have step-by-step instructions to follow as they learn their role, or if a staff member is away for the day, someone else can step in, follow the instructions, and fulfill their role. If you don't have any staff, you may not have documented operations procedures. Select No and complete the supplied fields to let us know how you're running your current tasks. This might also help you identify areas for improvement. For the cleaning and maintenance procedures, let us know how you record and track your cleaning and maintenance activities and anything that might be due for maintenance. If you handle, serve, or prepare food for visitors, you need to select Yes and make sure you have ensured compliance with your local and state government handling rules and you've attached the relevant license in the Licenses and Permits section. Risk management is an important component of accreditation and will help develop your business resiliency through a number of situations. You must be meeting all of the requirements in this section. Your OH&S policy is your stated commitment to delivering a safe environment for staff and guests. Your risk management plan should include details on the potential risks to your business, the likelihood that they will occur, the consequences if they occur, and the strategies you have in place to minimise these. Clicking on the blue question mark will bring up full details about how to conduct a risk assessment, potential risks that might apply to your business, and we encourage you to consider risks other than natural disasters and OH&S risks. Economic risks and IT risks, for example, can be quite severe. There are resources and templates at the bottom of this section, and the Victoria tab has links to further resources. If you don't have an existing risk management plan, you can select No, and then you can either use the available template or complete the supplied fields to be stepped through a risk assessment. Your emergency and evacuation procedures should document the steps that staff and visitors need to take in the event of an emergency. This should include details about when and how to contact the local authorities, the channels of communication between staff, local authorities, and guests, and details on more than one particular emergency. For example, if I go back to my tour operator business, I would need to include details on potential traffic accidents, injuries to guests, and severe weather. You should also include an evacuation map that notes the locations of fire extinguishers, first aid kits, and the gas, water, and electricity shut-off points. The rest of these questions are fairly straightforward yes or no questions. Some of them do have some extra details required, for example, the emergency fighting appliances. So for this one, we need to know when your firefighting equipment is checked. And the incident report form, there is a template available by clicking on the blue question mark. With your first aid kits, we need some additional details on how you ensure it is appropriately stocked. For example, did you keep the inventory list that it came with, and do you regularly check against this list? And how do you maintain your first aid kits? So how often do you update the resources, or how do you check that they're past their use by date and replace them? The environmental, social and cultural responsibility requirements for Level 1 accreditation are just a yes, agree that you are committed to reducing your environmental impact. The final section is about your Australian Tourism Data Warehouse listing. The ATDW is a digital content distribution platform for the tourism industry. It provides Australian tourism businesses and events with increased online exposure through a single self-managed listing that appears on a variety of tourism platforms, including visitvictoria.com, australia.com, and official regional websites. So if you have an ATDW listing, select yes and fill in the details. If you don't have an ATDW listing, select no, and a further question will appear. The Quality Tourism Framework consumer website, Trust the Tick, is where all accredited businesses across the country are listed. The listings on Trust the Tick are linked to the ATDW. So if you don't have an ATDW listing, but you would like to create one to be featured on Trust the Tick, select yes to this question and we will send you further details. If you do not want to create an ATDW listing, but you do want to be listed on Trust the Tick, you would select no to this question and yes to the following question. We will then ask you to fill in details so that we can manually create your Trust the Tick listing. This includes the description to use, photos for your listing, address and contact details, and further details for accommodation businesses. We encourage all tourism businesses to have an ATDW listing. Visit Victoria manages the ATDW in Victoria and have currently waived fees for the next 12 months. New businesses have until the 31st of August 2020 to claim a free 12-month listing. Normally, accredited businesses receive a 60% discount on their ATDW fees. To finalise your application, you need to agree to the QTF licence and code of practice. Click on the blue question mark to download the licence and code of practice and agree to these. You can then click Submit. This particular application is a combined application with the business recovery questions as well. I would then go through and complete the business recovery questions, click Submit in that particular module, and finally click on the Finalise tab and click Finalise Application for both of these to be sent through. As you're working through your application, you can leave at any time and the system will automatically save your progress. You can see as well which particular sections have been completed and which still have areas that need to be answered. This is also visible down the bottom of the toolbar. If you have any questions as you work through your application, please get in touch with us. We're always happy to help explain anything as needed.